We all know that our state and our country are dealing with an opioid epidemic, and there's a lot of things that go into that. And I think as a patient, we all really need to take charge of our own health care. But now doctors also have new responsibilities that are now laws this year and then next year. We've got Amy Tittle here. She is a nurse practitioner talking about what patients need to know about changes that we're seeing and why this is happening.
Well, essentially, over the past 20, 30 years, prescribers have been overprescribing opioids, and it's led to a lot of misuse, abuse of these medications. Because of this, the United States Department of Health and Human Services has recognized that this has become an epidemic with opioids prescriptions, and so they've kind of taken a stance that they want, to address this. So because of that, Michigan has adopted some new opioid laws for patients to kind of warn them of the potential, risks of that.
Okay. And so what changes will a patient see if they need to get prescription painkillers? What do they need to know?
So the biggest role that we have to do as providers is educate the patients. One of the things we need to inform patients about is the fact that these are highly addictive medications. There's a risk for abuse, overdose even. We also need to inform them that they need to dispose of these medications properly. They should not be left lying around. There is resources in order to find out where you can properly dispose of these, whether it be your local police department or select pharmacies. Also, we need to inform the patients that they are not to share these medications or dispense them to anybody. That is illegal. It's actually a felony under Michigan law. So these are things we have to cover with the patients prior to prescribing. Additionally, if you are a female woman of reproductive age or you're pregnant, you should be warned that there are risks with taking opioids as well. Additionally, minors have some extra caveats that we have to cover with them, including, there's an increased danger if you have a mental disorder or substance abuse disorder. You should not take these medications while drinking alcohol or using any kind of medications that can also depress your central nervous system, like muscle relaxants, okay? And that is kind of in addition for minors. We need to cover some extra things. In the end, once we discuss all these with our patients, we need to have them kind of understand this and consent and kind of sign a consent form prior to prescribing opioids.
Okay. And then there'll be changes again next year as well. So tell us what's happening.
Well, the other addition this year that happened is we have to make sure that patients aren't receiving prescriptions from multiple providers. There's the Michigan Automated Prescribing System that we check to make sure they're not receiving from multiple providers, as well as for acute pain, as prescribers, we can only give 7-day supplies of opioids. As far as the new upcoming laws next year, the patients and the prescribers will have to have what's called a bona fide relationship, which, in theory makes complete sense that you would have a relationship with your patient. You assess them, you can prescribe for them, and follow up with them as well to make sure these medications are working for them and they're not having any kind of reactions to them.
Okay, good to know, good for the patients to know. And of course, if you have any questions, we have some helpful links on our website. You can just head to 9in10news.com. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thanks.
This Health in Focus is a paid segment by Jag and Nathan Neurosurgery.